Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about making like If and A Lucky Man with Lindsay Anderson?
Well, If was the first film that I was cast in, and I got very, very lucky because the director that I worked with was a genius, and I say that not lightly, because I worked with people that said Stanley Kubrick was a genius, but to me it was Lindsay Anderson, who was the most amazing director that I ever worked with. I went into an audition for him. I was doing a play at the Royal Court Theatre, a modern dress version of Twelfth Night. My agent called and said, there's some movie about a school or something, go meet the director, which I did. And I went in, and I was one of the last people to be seen, because I was rehearsing. And so this man jumped up on the stage. The audition was in a theatre. It was dark in the day, so it was held in a theatre, and I went in, and this man turned out to be Lindsay Anderson, had this amazingly piercing eyes and a very intelligent demeanor about him. And he said, what are you doing? And I said, well, you know, and I was really thrilled to be working at the Royal Court Theatre. I thought I'd really, you know, come a step up. It was the most avant-garde theatre in London. So he said, what are you doing? I told him, you know, and he, what part? Oh, well, that's not a very good part, but, you know, Sebastian, Twelfth Night, and Modern Dress, and all that. And he goes, oh, how awful. I went, well, I mean, it's not that awful. I mean, it is the Royal Court. He went, yeah, but no, isn't it rather pretentious? And I went, well, as a matter of fact, it is a wee bit pretentious, yes, because we're opening next week, and, you know, I don't know where I make my entrances yet, or where I make my exits, because they can't make up their minds. He went, oh, yeah, and the director is complete crap. And he went on for like half an hour. We were gossiping about the people at the Royal Court Theatre. And I was loving it, you know, I was trashing everybody. Then we turned on the cast, and well, he's a wonderful actor. They say, oh, not that. Oh no, well, you're right. He's not that good, actually. And he can't learn lines, you know. Really? No, he can't learn lines. Anyway, we go on like this. There is an impasse. He looks at me and he goes, you do realize, Malcolm, of course, don't you, that I am a director of the Royal Court? I went, oh, no, I hadn't realized that. I suppose I'm not going to get this part then, am I? And he said, not necessarily. And so I went on, and I did another audition for him with this girl who was cast, who was very beautiful, and I instantly fell in love with. And I got the part, so that was the first time that I worked with Lindsay Anderson, and I loved him so much that, you know, I said, we won the grand prize at the Cannes Film Festival, and I remember sort of putting my arm around him on the Croisette, you know, walking down the Croisette at Cannes, and I said to him, you know, we're such a great hit, Lindsay, you and I, let's do another film together. And he stopped, he looked at me like I'd crawled out of a rock, and he said, if you want to make another film with me, Malcolm, I suggest you write it. And I went, well, you know, I'm an actor, I'm not a writer, you know. And he walked off, and I went, well, I will, I bloody well will. And I did. And it was Oh Lucky Man, eventually. So there you are. He was a great man, though, and really, I owe everything to him, and you know, he was just one of those extraordinary people. Very difficult to get on with. He was a total curmudgeon. I made this show about him called Never Apologize, because he never did. And you'd have a stinking row with him, and you'd leave it a week and then pick up the phone, even though it was absolutely his fault. And you'd go, all right, I'm sorry, Lindsay. Yes, I would think so. Well, all right, you know, I mean, yes, are you apologizing or not? Yes, I am apologizing. Because, you know, his friendship was worth everything to me. So in the end, of course, I would apologize.
We have time for about 2 more questions.
Hi. You've played some, notoriously despicable roles. So what I wanted to ask you is, do you have a problem shaking a role, like when you go home at night, you still have it in you? Like some actors talk about how they are still that person when they go home at night. And I just wanted to know, do you ever have characters where you find it difficult to walk around without that character becoming a part of you or coming out in some way?
No.
Okay, thank you.
No problem at all. I'm a professional actor. It's all bollocks, you know.
We have one over on this side with your hand up right there.
I'm wondering if there was any roles that were offered that you turned down that you regret not taking.
Oh yes, there have been. And I'm certainly not going to tell you what they were. Because, you know, it would be a disservice to the person that actually played it. It wouldn't be really fair to say, oh, yeah, I would have been better in that role. They wanted me first, you know. But you'll find out as your career goes along and along and along, you are never first on the list. And if you are, you're in trouble. Because that means they've written it for you. And that's really, when a writer goes, I wrote this for you, my heart sinks. Because I know it's a piece of crap.